What does Zyn give you? Not just smoke-free nicotine satisfaction, but real freedom. Freedom to do what you love and choose your rewards. With Zyn Rewards, you can redeem points for premium tech, outdoor gear, and gift cards to your favorite retailers. Find your Zyn and keep finding rewards that fit your lifestyle at zyn.com/rewards. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. What does Zyn give you? Not just smoke-free nicotine satisfaction, but real freedom. Freedom to do what you love and choose your rewards. With Zyn Rewards, you can redeem points for premium tech, outdoor gear, and gift cards to your favorite retailers. Find your Zyn and keep finding rewards that fit your lifestyle at zyn.com/rewards. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugatz Podcast.
We will dork out on baseball 6 p.m. tonight on the YouTube channel. Tim Kurkjian and Friends is what we'll call it, an evening with Tim Kurkjian, where someone will talk to me about Chase Burns striking out the first 5 Yankees that he faced yesterday and will care about it, unlike the people in this room, none of whom care about any baseball topic. Billy, I'd love to have you tonight. Do you care about Chase Burns? I don't know whether you do.
You know
do?
me, CB, big guy. Big CB guy. Can I talk about, can I break the fourth wall of something I've been concerned about?
You're good.
So baseball's leaving ESPN at the end of the year. They're not going to have baseball anymore. Mm-hmm. I've been worried about Tim. Are they still going to cover baseball as often? Or because you would assume if they lose the sport, what is the baseball coverage going to look like at ESPN?
He'll be the last one there.
I'm not totally informed on this, but I've heard enough of the sporting class with Sampson and Skipper to feel like the Manfred and baseball don't have much use for how it is that ESPN cares about baseball. And Tim Kurkjian's one of the few people still there fighting to care about baseball. Is that not obvious to everyone that baseball has shrunk to a very small size on ESPN?
Yeah, but that doesn't answer.
But they still have. But
Tim good? I'm worried about it.
They have analysts for sports that they don't have rights to.
I mean, doesn't it feel like he'll be Barry Melrose all those years before, in between the NHL?
There forever, just there for as long as he'd like to be.
Bring him out to sports centers when the World Series is going on.
I thought that of Peter Gammons.
Why'd you say that way?
Because then Peter Gammons was just off of ESPN.
Oh, he left on his own volition.
Well, that's what you always say.
Billy, would you like to partake in Tim Kurkjian night tonight? An evening.
You're really
with Tim
pressing,
Kurkjian?
huh? For like a commitment here.
I'm not really, just asking if you'd like to be a part of it. We'll find out at 6 o'clock.
Yeah, what time? It starts at 6.
Starts at 6.
Yeah.
What time is it until?
It doesn't matter.
No, because I'm
okay.
telling you as you know we were discussing. 6 is really bad parent time at this age. It's feeding time, bath time. So I can hop on
We'll
at
be on
some
for a few
point.
hours.
That's what I think. I think later arriving.
Man, you better get that
Probably.
parent thing on lock like me.
I can't, dude. I was telling Jeremy before. I was like, I don't know the age of your children. You have multiple children. I don't know how old they are.
13 and 16.
Teenagers, and he's got it on lock.
Got them on
Yeah,
lock.
I told Jeremy once you get to like 10 and 8, you're good. I feel like then you've experienced everything. You're done parenting.
Yeah, you
don't
definitely
need to do
can't ruin
anymore.
your kids past that age.
Nah,
for sure.
by that point you have it on lock.
By 10 and 8.
I want to stop all you guys for a second because I want to talk to Jessica about a couple of different things, but I also want to tell everybody that Zaslow again has to leave early today because this man right here, featured earlier in the show doing this in the streets of Miami, will anchor ESPN Radio's NBA draft coverage tonight.
Jess's face reaction to that
yes,
photo.
that is Zaslow.
What? You got something to say?
Looks like you're shooting a T-shirt cannon.
It is
what it is?
It is the first time Zaz has ever opened champagne, and he was bragging about it, even though he shook it poorly.
Yeah, and can I tell you something? Oklahoma City Thunder players, you can't figure out how to pop open that cork? Idiots.
Zaslow showed you. It's the first time he's ever done it, clearly, from looking at him. But he will anchor ESPN Radio's NBA draft coverage tonight. I wanted to ask Jessica and the rest of you, though, before we just skip past the rest of this story involving the Arizona Diamondbacks' second baseman, Khalil. Oh my God, I'm blanking
Ketel
on his name.
Marte.
I'm sorry. Yes, Marte.
They almost made him Khalil Ware.
Yeah, that was what was happening.
I got confused.
Thank you.
Is that home or on the road?
He was sobbing during the game, and the game was interrupted while a fan heckled him about his late mother who passed in a car accident in 2017. I am reading that the White Sox have banned that fan, but I don't know what ban means. That's not a lifetime ban. And
Billy dies.
And I do wonder what the penalty for something like that should be.
I mean, you think the guy who's checking the tickets? I'm sorry, Jess. Like, do you think the guy Jess who's checking the tickets got like a photo of this guy? Hey, keep this guy out.
I do think they use some stadiums use facial recognition technology
They
now,
say that.
or they don't let you buy tickets. I don't know. Like they block you from buying the ticket. I don't know exactly how they do the ban, but I do think that one of the punishments when someone does something like this should be that the people in your section get to heckle you out of the stadium, like Steve Bartman style. Like, I wish that we still lived in a society where if I'm sitting next to a guy and they say something really shitty to a player, I can boo in their face and scream at them until they leave.
Well, they have that code that you got to text, right? Text 60555.
Unruly fans.
Yeah, and then it's kind of like
That's not good
silence
enough.
Do you guys ever send a text? You ever text it?
Never.
I did one time when someone in my section was room for the other team, and I text so-and-so room for other team.
Really? They kick the person out?
Wait, was this Mike Ryan at in the Golden Canes box at a Miami
You're
game?
allowed.
That sounds like
You're allowed.
something
Why would you
do.
Why would you tell on somebody rooting for the other team?
To me, that shit was unruly.
Yeah. Did they get the person?
I don't think they took it seriously.
Wow.
What should the penalty be, though? When she says public shame, okay, there's that. You're allowed to sort of do some 1700s throwing of tomatoes metaphorically at
Oh,
people.
that's a good idea.
about physically?
Oh, metaphorically. Ketchup packets.
As they leave the
Squirt 'em in their face.
But how long should that penalty be? Like that, if you've made because we've talked before about the idea that a penalty should be for the action, not the reaction. But this is in reaction to the second baseman breaking down sobbing. And so if that is what happens because you've crossed the line that thoroughly, what should the penalty actually be for that fan? I'm asking the question seriously.
I mean, I think you have to ask that person, list all your dead relatives, you give it to the section, and they heckle you about your dead relatives. An eye for an eye, like Uncle Mike used to say.
Aye.
Oh,
Did you hear about that, Jess?
I did.
And well, of course, that would be her reaction if
She's just a nice person. She might just say that if she just hears about a late uncle. Anyone's late
I had a
uncle.
dog without an eye.
Really?
Fun.
what
Yeah,
happened.
Eli.
Champagne bottle?
He did not drink champagne, but he did have some sort of infection, so we had to get his eyeball removed, and then they sewed it shut. So he always looked like he was winking.
With dogs, it's cute, though, because you can call the dog Cyclops, and then people aren't like, wow, you're making fun of a disabled dog. It's like, oh, what a cute name.
It wasn't that cute with Uncle Mike.
Hold on for a second. We got to ask this question. You said the dog's name is Eli?
Yeah.
Was his name Eli before he lost an eye?
Yes, he was a rescue. We didn't name him. I think he might have been named after Eli Manning.
Crazy coincidence that is.
Book of Eli.
Book of Eli, yeah.
2 eyes didn't work there.
Did you just say fun, Chris, when she said the dog had a glass eye? Was fun what you said?
I think.
Wait, no, the dog did not have a glass eye. Peter Falk had a glass eye, Dan.
Really?
You know, Columbo,
Columbo,
famously
yes,
glass
Columbo.
eye. The dog just didn't have an eye.
There is something endearing and I would say fun. You see a dog with a little deformity, it's like, oh, that's so adorable.
Yeah. He was a really cute
Thank you.
sweetheart.
You see a dog
Great
hopping with 3 legs, I'm like, that is
He's
an
right
adorable
about
Yeah, you
thing
call
right
it
there.
tripod.
That is so
the dog with
adorable.
2 legs, you call
I'm
it
not trying to
wheels.
get one of those dogs.
Yeah. Would you return
They
it?
love you just the same as dogs with 2 eyes and 4 legs.
Yes.
Did you say, would I return it?
Yeah, like if you adopted a dog and all of a sudden you lost a leg, you go and say, ah,
Dan seems like he would.
Return it?
Is there a receipt?
I think you're right.
There's definitely a receipt, right? On like in the first 30 days, if it doesn't work out. Like,
I don't think that people generally look at the specific deformity of 3 legs and say, "Oh, adorable," as opposed to that's a difficult way to go through life. You think adorable is the reaction people have to 3-legged dogs?
The noise that Jess made when we brought up Uncle Mike, that's what I do.
Yeah, I agree.
that's sweet.
2 legs. Now I'm thinking about how difficult it might be.
That's
But
a
3 legs,
Oh,
that's
just
pretty
hopping.
cute.
No, 2 legs, you got wheels. Yeah. Well, it depends on the 2, I suppose.
Yeah.
Also, like, guys,
Front wheels?
we got to stop making light of this
Front
situation.
wheel drive.
This isn't funny. These are things that happen to people. Peter Falk lost his eye to cancer as a child. Like, I don't know what these jokes are all about. We're no better than that person that was at the game picking up
Thank you,
Ketel
Billy.
Marte.
I believe that Jessica's sound wasn't just because Uncle Mike had a glass eye. I believe that awe was also because he couldn't find one that was the color of the other eye.
No, the awe was because you were all making fun of Uncle Mike, and now I feel bad because he, God rest his soul, is being talked about and made fun of on a radio show years after passing. Shout out to Uncle Mike.
Now,
really
Uncle
crazy
devil praise his soul.
coincidence here is that my dad is named Eli, and he also almost lost his eye when he was in the 9th grade at Miami Beach High School. Someone there was a substitute
Champagne?
teacher, and someone threw one of the, like the dry erase or the chalkboard erasers.
Yeah.
Someone threw it across the classroom, and it literally flew all the way and hit him in the corner of the eye, and he had to go get surgery immediately.
Classic hijinks.
Terrible reaction time from your dad.
Awful, right? He just didn't even know it was coming, and then all of a sudden, there it was.
I wanted to talk to Pablo about this, and I failed, but the mayor of New York thing was a little bit surprising in that Cuomo has the family name that he is now disgraced, and Cuomo had all of the fundraising advantages, the incumbent advantages, every advantage you can have, and got swamped, got totally crushed, and I don't know if people saw that coming, but did you see it coming, Jessica?
No, because as recently as like a week ago, I think Cuomo was still polling ahead of the second place candidate. This is just for the Democratic primary, which was yesterday in New York City. The election is in November, but normally the Democratic primary winner wins the election because New York tends to vote Democrat for mayor. But Eric Adams is obviously still in office and decided he's going to run as an independent now after he was indicted. So the race was sort of wide open on the Democratic side. And yeah, Zoran Mamdani, who is an assemblyman, sort of came from behind in this race. He was polling really low at the beginning of the year, and then turns out if you run a campaign based on a vision for the future of New York and getting young people mobilized about a city that they may actually want to live in versus fear-mongering and just sort of presenting the same tired ideas of, the New York City that Cuomo was running to lead, then yeah, I guess people get mobilized and they want to vote for the young, hot, exciting candidate.
Cuomo had all the institutional endorsements. He had the polling lead, and to get swamped.
He also had a bunch of scandals.
Yes. I mean, and it should be disqualifying. I mean, I read a really great op-ed in The Guardian about how Cuomo is just basically the Democratic version of Donald Trump running for mayor amid sexual harassment scandals. He resigned in disgrace. He lied about nursing home numbers during COVID. And the death toll, and that he didn't apologize for any of this during his campaign. He was just like, yeah, I'm going to be the mayor. And he saw a real opportunity to get back in the fold in New York City politics and New York politics. Obviously comes from a long family of politicians. His dad was the governor of New York for decades. So yes, it absolutely should be something that is disqualifying. And so I think what the lesson should be, I guess. And again, I'm not like a political expert. I'm just like a person who is following this. I'm a sports idiot with a phone.
You live in New York. Your qualifications are you live in New York and you're coming to broadcasting live
I like New
from
York,
New York.
and I want New York to be a affordable place to live. That's my qualification. The takeaway should be that like if you want an alternative to Donald Trump as a Democrat, then don't just like find a cheap Democratic version of him. Maybe find someone that people are excited about voting for. So yeah, when the establishment was all backing Cuomo, it seemed like it would be tough to overcome that, but people were really excited to vote for someone new. And so yeah, Mamdani won the primary and Cuomo succeeded, or appears to have won the primary. It's ranked choice, so they're still counting votes, obviously, but Cuomo conceded at 10 o'clock on Tuesday night while I was watching the Fever Storm game.
But Jessica, you brought up the most important point, which is he didn't concede as in, man, you got it. Wow, you really ran a great campaign. It's like, I want to be a Democrat anyway, is basically how he conceded.
Yeah, he might still run as an independent. He's sort of left the door open, and it's but again, like it should be the kind of thing where Democrats want to claim like you have the moral superiority and high ground compared to what the Republicans have been doing in elections for the last decade, then I don't know, find a candidate who actually has ideas and not just someone who runs on power and represents power. Mamdani's ideas are like free buses and like rent freeze on rent stable apartments, things like that. And it's like, well, is he even going to be able to do that? I don't know, but at least he has an idea. At least like his ideas sound like things that would help everyday people. So yeah, I mean, maybe he's not going to be able to do any of that, but I think it's at least something that people that live in New York City are like, oh, that would be great if I, had a free bus ride instead of having to pay for it.
We're going to get to Jessica's top 5 things to do at a baseball game in a second, but Zaslou's got to go because, again, this is anchoring today's ESPN radio draft coverage for the next few hours. Very serious coverage, right, Zaslou? It's not just going to be Cooper Flag.
What about this would tell you it's not serious and confident?
Okay, ESPN radio. Go ahead. I know you have to go.
Looking good.
You are looking
Thanks,
good.
Jess.
You're looking very confident as well. Look at Jeremy, big smile on his face. Look how happy he is that I guess
just love him.
Zaslou's leaving and there's more room to talk.
Wow.
Oh, the wedding singer.
I can't even be excited.
Jeremy will be partaking in the 6 p.m. coverage that Billy may or may not partake in this
Yeah, you're
evening?
going to hear all about the recently acquired Colby Martin, a former Division III second baseman who was an All-American.
A board or something.
And now is a Marlins pitching prospect, traded for today.
I likely will not be joining.
Do we want to play friend or coworker with Jess before we get to her top 5 things to do at a baseball game? Because who's hosting this game? I want to get back to it. Who's the game show host on friend or coworker? Pablo Torre.
Who the fuck is the...
What?
It's you. Okay.
Hello.
Hey,
Hello, Billy. The
Welcome
host.
to another edition of Friend
or Coworker.
Now, this is a special celebrity edition of Friend or Coworker. In the past, as you all know, this game is reserved for Greg Cody. Does Greg Cody consider someone a friend or a coworker? But now, on the celebrity edition, we're going to bring in Jessica. Welcome, celebrity Jessica.
Woo! We wanted to play this game.
You can check out Jessica on Vice sometimes.
Oh yeah, Vice TV.
Yeah, I don't have all the details
TV
on
show.
that, so I just thought.
Watch your back, Amin.
Watch your back,
TV
Amin.
too.
The guest is threatening you.
My
So,
device.
all right, Chris and Dan are the participants as usual, but this again is a celebrity edition. So, does Jessica consider Pablo a friend or a coworker? Now, Dan, you have to say friend or coworker, and then Chris says friend or coworker, and then I get an answer from Jessica. Does she consider Pablo a friend or
thank
coworker?
you. And so far, we've all had ties in this game so far. Nothing but ties have
The
emerged.
history of this game, we've had 2 games, and both times have ended in a tie, oddly.
Before we ask Jessica, though, did we not want to go around the room at what you guys consider Pablo a friend or a coworker?
That's not the game.
That's not the
We
game
could have
we're
done
playing.
that, but that's a different game.
Okay, that's a different
That's
game.
called
I'm
Around
going to
the
say
Room.
that Jessica thinks of Pablo as a friend.
I'm going to say coworker.
Whoa. This isn't going to be
I think
a
she
tie,
hates
then.
Pablo.
Whoa, this is
Now
not
you're
going to be a
making it a
tie.
thing.
You
She's
don't
gonna
think
have
she
to say
hates-
friend.
She
You
doesn't
put her in
hate
a corner
Pablo.
here.
It doesn't have to be hate. It
Yeah.
can just be a
There's not a third
coworker.
option. It's
It
just
can
friend
just
or
be a
coworker.
coworker.
You could hate your friend, too.
Now, quickly, before we go on, Amin, would you like to
you hate your
describe
friend?
to the audience who have just joined us what you would consider a friend and what you would consider a coworker?
A coworker is someone that I interact with only within the confines of work. A friend is someone that I would actually hang out with without needing a work pretense.
But that is why I thought that Greg Cody thought of Roy as a coworker, because I thought he was being polite when he called him a friend, because he wouldn't hang out with him anywhere but at work.
No, that's the
What did it-
past.
See,
The birthday.
Now, is there a thing of I haven't done it yet, but I would?
No, but he wouldn't. Your father would not hang
I
out
think
with
he
Roy.
would.
No,
He did.
He would not go somewhere to just hang out and have lunch with Roy.
Yes, he would. If Roy wanted. The question should have been, does Roy consider him a friend or
Well,
coworker?
Roy went on a boat for Greg, but
For his
also was
birthday,
an
yeah.
open bar. So open
Yeah,
bar is
free
kind of
food.
disqualifying sometimes because
Was it a
then
free
there's
lunch?
It was a free meal.
incentive.
Yeah,
Is it a
buffet.
free lunch?
There was a buffet. Yeah.
No, I'm just saying, he's saying he'd never go to lunch with us. Is it a free lunch?
I mean, just out of curiosity, would
Yeah.
you consider Pablo a friend or coworker?
Well, I'm not playing. I'm not a contestant.
Okay, good.
Jessica.
Very good. All right, so Jessica,
We ran out of music.
on this edition of Celebrity, friend or coworker, do you consider Pablo Torre a friend or coworker?
Friend.
liar?
Question mark.
I'm not sure.
Everyone's afraid to play this game. We just need David Sampson.
Faux worker.
He's the only one that can play these games.
Faux worker
He's the only one
is
who-
good. Faux worker is good middle ground.
David Sampson can play this game because he has no friends.
Yes.
That's
Right.
why. They're all coworkers. Every one of them.
And David Sampson being friends with Pablo puts Pablo more in the coworker category for me, I think.
Wow.
For David Sampson, it would be called coworker or employee.
And that'll do it for another edition of Friend
Thank you,
or
Billy. Now we
Coworker.
get to the top 5 things to do at a baseball game with Jess. And
Yeah.
tonight, you can watch all of them with us, with Tim Kirkshin. An evening with Tim Kirkshin begins 6 p.m. tonight on YouTube. We'll
Jess,
see
you want to stop by?
which of his friends and coworkers we have stop by. Jessica, you're invited. Everyone's invited.
Maybe I will. Enough of this big dumper guy, by the way. I'm sick of him.
Oh, he rocks.
No,
Do we have any
he stinks.
OLI, or is it just going straight to the top 5?
OLI. Take a picture with your coworker and his girlfriend that people online will think is evidence that you're dating him.
That's something to do?
It is something that may have happened at the Cubs game on Friday with Taylor. Number 5.
Sounds like a
best
cover-up.
things to do at a at a baseball game. 5. Watch baseball.
Really? I did not think that would crack the top 5.
Should have been lower.
Number 4.
Do a lap around the concourse looking for food, make it back to your seat empty-handed, do it again an inning later, having settled on whichever option had the shortest line.
Always.
Now, is there not such a thing as great baseball ballpark food anymore? Are you guys saying that you can't find good food at the ballpark?
It's not about not finding good food. It's about which line is the shortest.
Exactly. It's about you wander around and you're like, do I want nachos? Do I want a hot dog? Do I want Italian beef? I don't know. I don't know what I want. I'm going to go back to my seat. And then you get up again and you're like, screw it. I'm just going to get this one because there's no one in line.
Not a problem at
That's what
the
it's about.
not a problem at the Marlins.
We had Flanagan's at the Marlins games the other day.
Guys got
And there's no lines because no one's there, Jeremy.
gator dogs.
I thought, though, that if you're choosing to go to the ballpark and the ballpark food experience is good, no line would suggest I don't want to be eating that food. There's good food. That's the reason there are lines for it. It's the worst ballpark food you're saying is worth eating, even if you're there for part of the culinary experience.
I mean, I don't know if anyone that goes to Cubs games is there for the culinary experience.
You
and
for
that's
sure
where-
don't say it that way. If you are. Just say I want a hot dog and some popcorn.
I'm here for the culinary experience. Here's my ticket.
I believe, and I may have this wrong, but I don't think I'm among baseball fans. Now, Wrigley Field, maybe it's been modernized. It did not have good food. I'm going to say half the ballparks in America, people are there, at least in part, because the food's really good. It's not okay, it's really good.
Wait a second. It's time out. You
Half the
think
people?
are going to baseball games. Hey, where you going? Baseball game. Who's playing? Don't know. Just go for the
I'm saying
culinary.
half the ballparks. I'm guessing that 10 to 14 of the ballparks are ballparks that people enjoy eating there. I'm going to say San Francisco's one of them.
I think you have this wrong. I think it's not that they're there to eat at them. I think it's like this is a special treat that I associate with being at the ball game.
Yeah.
Like I'm not going to the game to get a big hot dog, but like when I'm there, I am also entertained by the big hot dog.
Like 50% of the people at Marlins games didn't have the conversation before. So Prime 112 or center field Marlin concession stand tonight.
Marlins is a
Well,
bad
yeah, all
example.
four of
They've
them
gone cheap
don't
on
know each
food.
other.
The Marlins have gone cheap on food.
Not true.
I know what he's talking about. I've been to Oracle where the Giants play. They do have great food for a ballpark. What I'm saying to you is there is not a soul in that park who's there for the food. They're there for the game, and now that their game, let's have some good food. But they're not there for the food. They could have just gone to a
Number
restaurant.
3.
Number 3, start filling out a scorecard and then give up by the third inning.
You guys do that? Really?
Never.
They still have that in the program? That
Number,
option?
yeah.
Number 2.
Number 2, saying take me out to the ball game.
You guys singers? Do you guys sing it?
Then I will.
Root,
What do you think?
Root for, and then you scream, Cubby.
Wrigley Field does it better than most.
I'd say better than all.
Number 1.
I would also say that. The number one thing to do at a baseball game, get a buzz on, go to the team store.
Hell
Oh my God. The time of your life.
Saw that on her Instagram story.
Everything looks cute when you're a little buzzed at the Cubs game.
Jessica, thank you.
Except Taylor. Why are people so weird about that?
Put it on the
Nice
poll
cover up.
at Batard Show. Put it on the poll. Do you like to get buzzed at the merch store?
Also, notice you called Taylor a coworker, not a friend.
True.
Once again.
What's that about?
Trying to throw you off the scent.
David Sampson, friend or coworker?
Thank you, Jessica. I thought we were done playing that game. Faux worker, ladies and gentlemen.
No, you just labeled him a foe.
Just faux.
That concludes Fuck. Fuck.
Bye.
You, David Sampson, is what it feels like that game has become. I mean, before we get to Oddball and the serious draft coverage that you and Izzy are about to provide, what is funny about the draft tonight?
What's funny is Ace Bailey. What he's doing. I don't know what he's doing, but I kind of feel like it's genius, whatever it is. He went from the number 3 pick to, like, who knows where he's going to go now.
Like, you can't draft him. He didn't work out for anybody. What do we do?
Oddball breaks it down better than that next.
The Dan Le Batard Show with Stugatz is sponsored by BetterHelp. So we mess around a lot on this show. Look, I know that. But let me be serious for a second. Men's mental health is a big deal. And honestly, for a long time, I thought, you have to tough everything out. Like, I'm supposed to be the strong one, right? No cracks, no help, just keep going. No, that's not real life. Everyone, me, you, all of us need support sometimes. You don't have to hit rock bottom to talk to someone. Therapy helps with stress, relationships, even just sorting through the day-to-day stuff. It can teach you boundaries, healthy coping tools. It just helps you be your best self. BetterHelp makes it super convenient. You can do sessions from home, work, wherever. And if your therapist isn't the right fit, you can switch at any time with no weirdness. With over 35,000 therapists, they've helped more than 5 million people already. And their app has a 4.9 rating out of 5 from over 1.7 million reviews, guys. That is a wild percentage. As the largest online therapy provider in the world, BetterHelp can provide access to mental health professionals with a diverse variety of expertise. Talk it out with BetterHelp. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at BetterHelp.com/DLB. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/DLB.
This show is sponsored by Game Time, the official ticketing partner of the Dan Le Batard Show with Stugatz. And folks, let's be real. Buying tickets for concerts or games is usually a pain. You hop online early, you wait in some never-ending virtual queue, which I truly can't stand, and by the time you get through it, prices are sky high or tickets are gone. It's the worst. But that's why I use Game Time. Look, you guys know me. I'm a white guy who likes to project like he thinks he's smarter than other people, which means Vampire Weekend is one of my favorite bands. And when Vampire Weekend was coming to town just a couple of weeks ago, I was looking for tickets, and not only did I find amazing seats on Game Time, but I actually saved a ton of money. Game Time has last-minute deals that let you save up to 60% off for concerts, comedy, theater, sports, you name it. And soccer fans, how about you listen up? Game Time's offering 10% off exclusive zone deals for FIFA World Cup matchups. Big matches, great sections, and even better prices. You can see the view from your seat before you buy. Checkout takes just 2 taps. There are no surprise fees. What you see is what you pay for. So take the guesswork out of buying concert and show tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code DAN for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code DAN for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed.
What does Zyn give you? Not just smoke-free nicotine satisfaction, but real freedom. Freedom to do what you love and choose your rewards. With Zyn Rewards, you can redeem points for premium tech, outdoor gear, and gift cards to your favorite retailers. Find your Zyn and keep finding rewards that fit your lifestyle at zyn.com/rewards. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Dan Le Batard.
Mr. Shirt, if I may say for a second. Miami, they were simulating the snap count the entire game, and they were clapping at the line of scrimmage. And the only thing I want to see clapping are them cheeks on Mrs. Met in my face, Mike Shirt. All right, so that's one thing.
Stugatz.
They're a bunch of cheaters, Dan. And you know who should be cheating? Mrs. Met on Mr. Met. And he can watch if he wants.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugatz.
Hey guys, NBA draft is today, right? Interested? You excited for that, Izzy? An NBA draft?
You know when I get excited for the NBA draft? On NBA draft day.
Oh, well, today's NBA draft day.
So yes, I'm excited.
Get excited. And, Sean Sharani went on Pat McAfee show almost a month ago, and he predicted that this is going to be the craziest offseason ever. The team executives have been anticipating this, and everybody's so excited. Now, obviously, a lot has happened since May 27th, Izzy.
Mm-hmm.
We have a new champion. Our runner-up lost their key contributor. And there have been a couple of big deals that have happened, right, with Kevin Durant and Desmond Bain in the offseason. And Pat Connaughton picked up his option. Let's not forget that one.
Right, so, huge.
Izzy, what we decided to do is that the producers have devised this grid. It's a draft grid, right? Where it's a gradient to preview which teams are going to be the big players tonight. So left to right on the x-axis, we have inactive, meaning they're just going to take their pick and use it, and that's it, versus very active, meaning, hey, wheeling and dealing. And then on the y-axis, we have care a lot, like, oh, yeah, like this is going to be something that makes people start talking to. Nobody gives a shit. Don't care, all the way at the bottom. So
Sacramento Kings neighborhood.
Well, let's see. We'll see. Let's see what teams they have first. So first up, we have the Dallas Mavericks. They have the number 1 overall pick. L reports that it's going to be Cooper Flagg. Is that? I mean, to me, that means they're inactive, right? Like they're just going to use.
This is the whole difficulty with the Dallas Mavericks is what do they believe? Like, where do they believe they are in their pursuit of a championship? Are they on a big pause because of the Kyrie Irving injury? Are they saying, hey, we are just getting started and we're going to hit the track running because we've got Anthony Davis, a defensive player potentially of the year. We've got another potential number 1 overall pick in Cooper Flagg, and we've got Kyrie coming back. If they are thinking that they want to win right now still, I think there might be some thought of activity. Like they might, or other way, sorry. They might want to go to the active route, right?
Yeah, active. Yeah, I'm with you. I agree. I think, but look, one of the names that have been attached to them because of the Kyrie injury is Chris Paul. Chris Paul, who's probably going to be the odd man out in San Antonio now that when Wemby comes back healthy, you got De'Aaron Fox. You kind of don't need Chris Paul anymore. Meanwhile, Dallas is like, yeah, we could use a guy like that for maybe the whole season, maybe just most of the season, depending on when Kyrie Irving returns. So if I'm the Dallas Mavericks, I'm going to be active. It may not be around my pick. The pick's still going to be Cooper Flagg, but yeah, right around there is good.
Okay,
now,
so I like that. Active, just not around the pick. So you can still somehow, by having a fill stopgap in Chris Paul, still sort of nurture the young Cooper Flagg and let him be a part of what could be a championship run start right off the bat.
Yeah, I think this is a case where he's an understudy. They're going to try and compete for a championship, and he's around to learn good habits from good vets. And then one day, kid, the keys are yours. This whole kingdom is yours, but not quite yet. And there's another conversation for another day of, is that the best way to develop someone? But the question is now for us, do we care a lot or do we not care at all?
I think because they have the number 1 pick, we automatically care. Because if they move it, we want to know, hey, where the heck is that pick moving? If they do move it, we also be like, hey, wait a second, how crazy is Nico Harrison after all?
They're not moving it.
No. Okay. Well, I don't care that much to touch the ceiling there because I don't think Cooper Flagg is going to make that big of a difference, even if Kyrie Irving does come back at some point, whatever, January, February of next year. And honestly, there's just question marks in terms of what type of player he will be in the league. You've heard like Scottie Pippen comparisons. Like I think a lot of times with the one and done, you don't see the whole bag. You don't see the entire resume played out in that first year. So we still need to see how he looks. He could, like when he played for Team USA, everybody thought he was great. He was like the most talked about player there. So he could be even better than we think. So maybe they do have championship aspirations if he turns out to be, a 20-point a game rookie.
Yeah, I like him right there, right where we got it, right in that midpoint. I think we care. Because the Mavericks, because we're going to care anyway, because of the Luka trade, is always going to be a spotlight on. And what are y'all up to since you traded your franchise player? So we're going to always care. All right. I mentioned the Spurs and Chris Paul perhaps leaving. Let's talk about the Spurs. They have the 2nd pick and the 14th pick. That's 2 lottery picks. They're going to make picks at both spots, you think?
That would see this one, like they could just fill out the roster. They could talk or look at it like an OKC situation and say, hey, we know we're building around Victor. We've got another all-star there and Foxy, and we can just load up and take both of these draft picks and see what happens. But I think there's enough intrigue around this team to where they can look around and say, hey, what type of veteran can we get here? Obviously, it's not going to be Kevin Durant anymore, but who can we get here to maybe speed this timeline up a little bit? Because obviously with Victor Wembanyama, he's got all the time in the world, but with De'Aaron Fox, maybe not. Also with Victor Wembanyama, you're a little scared because he's got the blood clot in his shoulder. So I think they're probably going to be looking for somebody else in that front court who can carry them if they have to miss some time with Vic.
Yeah, I mean, look, first of all, I hope the blood clot issue is cleared up and he's fine and ready to go. And that's just a thing of the past. De'Aaron Fox is in the last year of his deal. Mm-hmm. So, there is a version of urgency to figure something out here. Maybe it's a replacement. Maybe it's something that pushes him forward. Maybe he's going to sign an extension this summer and all this is rendered moot. Stephon Castle, obviously, he had a great year. Rookie of the year. You got Jeremy Sohan, who is in the last year of his deal. You've got Devin Vassell, who's long-term signed, and Keldon Johnson, who's got 2 more years on his deal. So that's pretty much your core right there if you're the San Antonio Spurs. I kind of feel like this is one of those ones, if they can get a young vet, they'll make a move.
Right.
But it's kind of like you're still kind of in the accumulation. So I'm saying less active. Let's go, maybe towards an active a little bit more.
Okay.
Yeah,
I do care a lot, though. Anything with Victor Wembanyama makes it interesting.
I don't care.
Okay. You care less than the Mavs.
Yeah, I care definitely less than the Mavs. Because it's a young team, and it's like there still is the birth for, we won 40 games. That's a massive success for us. And like,
you know what? You're right. Bring it down right just under the care, don't care, the x-axis, because if they would have gotten Kevin Durant, I'm like, I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued. Now I'm just like, all right, let's see what they can do. Not super interested. I like where we have them.
All right. Next up, we got the Philadelphia 76ers. Everyone's favorite punching bag. The Sixers have the 3rd pick of the draft. Are they going to stay? Or are they going to go? Let's start with the caring. I think I care a lot. I think I'm moving all the way to the top.
More than average, for sure. I would go close to the top.
You're moving the wrong way, Chance. Up. There you go. Reason being because it's such a show. How can you not care? How can you not care? Think about the season they had. And they had an awful season. We cared, though. We cared that that pick is going to Oklahoma City unless it's in the like.
They're the Real Housewives. They're the reality show everybody can't help but keep their eyes on.
What's going to happen to Joel Embiid? What's going to happen to Paul George? All of these questions are going to keep swirling and swirling and swirling. Paul George will keep podcasting through it. Bless his heart. Like the 3rd pick, do they use it to the trade? I don't know. But I know I care.
There's also this interesting, Ace Bailey is one of the strangest draft prospects in a while. Won't work out for the Sixers. Seems to be very specific about where he would want to go. I don't know about you. I mean, I would love to go to a team that's ready-made for a championship if everybody stays healthy.
Well, no, but see, I wouldn't if I was Ace Bailey because my thing is I want to go and play and shoot 1,000,000 times and have freedom to be one of the best players on my team. I don't want to go somewhere where it's I made a mistake.
Let me be more specific. I think any franchise or any player coming into a draft would want to go to a franchise that they trust, that they know will take care of them. And whether or not they're in a championship mode. Wow, I just talked myself out of the 76ers.
There you go.
Is that what people really think about the 76ers? Because I thought it was just Joel Embiid's fault. Or is the organization supposed to be strong enough where you should be able to, control a player who doesn't really seem to take things as seriously?
Look, it was a while ago, but Roy Hibbert was on a podcast and he was talking about coaching and why he hated it. It was the worst year of his basketball life working as a coach, and he was working for the Sixers. And he was talking about, didn't mention any specific names, but he said you couldn't hold anybody accountable. We'd start practice and a big time player would not be at practice. And we're like, where is he? No one knew. And then he would show up late and he's like, yeah, I don't feel like practicing today. And he said no one held anyone accountable. And so again, that was a different regime, and it was a while ago, but it was some of the
same. So they should be active, is what you're saying. Dangle that number 3 pick out there, because if I want Ace Bailey doesn't want to come here. I'm not going to deal with that. I'll just go get a vet.
Daryl Morey is always when you're wondering, he's on the side of activity. Put him right there. There you go. That's good for me for the Sixers. Next one up. What do we got, Izzy?
This one's super interesting to me. It's the Oklahoma City Thunder. I don't know if you heard, they won the championship this week. Yeah. And they have the 15th and the 24th picks because, of course, they have all the draft picks. And they have 11 firsts overall in the next 5 years. Okay. So a championship team, a team that's done it with a very flexible salary situation because they have a bunch of young players. Do they keep collecting players and just add them to the back of the train and keep going? Or do they sort of collect and try to improve upon this team and really sort of take that next gear and create championship? I would say almost like dynasty, rather. I would say almost like the Kevin Durant trade, right? Turn the Warriors from a championship team to, dynasty over a handful of years.
Right.
Do the Thunder try to package this and maybe a Chet Holmgren and say, hey, Giannis, come on over here, make us a dynasty, or anybody else out there, even a Joel Embiid, somebody else to sort of upgrade in a way that nobody saw coming?
You know what? I don't see that happening. And the reason I don't see that happening is they've got a great kind of cascading salary situation where they've got a bunch of people who are under contract. So Alex Caruso's under contract long-term, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Aaron Wiggins, Isaiah Joe. They've got those guys under contract. You got to give an extension to Jalen Williams soon. And you got to give an extension to Chet Holmgren soon. And by the way, Lou Dort also has only, I guess, 2 years left, but he's extension eligible as well. So I think this is one of those things where, do I use picks to package and get someone with cost certainty, right? Not necessarily this massive upgraded talent, but just a little bit of cost certainty. I don't know.
If they're inactive, they're down there in the don't care corner. If they're active, I'm intrigued because they're going to be making a move that nobody expected.
I'll tell you right now, unless it's like a massive deal, I think it's still don't care.
Anything short of Giannis.
I've mentioned it before on the show, but guys, I don't really get enough sleep generally. And so when I do get sleep, I want to make sure I'm getting great sleep. And do you ever, like me, wake up tired and think, maybe it's not me, maybe it's the bed? Yeah, it probably is the bed. That's why there's the Sleep Number Smart Bed, the bed that learns you. It adjusts to your movements, supports your body, and lets you pick the firmness on each side. No arguments, no flipping a coin, no sleeping on the edge of the bed like you lost a challenge on Survivor. Sleep Number's been working with the NFL since 2018. 80% of NFL players sleep on one of these beds. If it's good enough for a 300-pound lineman trying to recover from Sunday, it's probably good enough for your weird shoulder cramp from scrolling in bed for 3 hours. Why choose a Sleep Number Smart Bed? So you can choose your ideal comfort on either side. The only bed that lets you make each side firmer or softer whenever you like, your Sleep Number setting. And now, it's the Sleep Number 4th of July sale. Save over $600 on the Sleep Number P5 King Smart Bed, the lowest price of the season, limited time, exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. See store or sleepnumber.com for details.
What does Zyn give you? Not just smoke-free nicotine satisfaction, but real freedom. Freedom to do what you love and choose your rewards. With Zyn Rewards, you can redeem points for premium tech, outdoor gear, and gift cards to your favorite retailers. Find your Zyn and keep finding rewards that fit your lifestyle at zyn.com/rewards. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.